Welcome everyone, this is my beginner's airbrush tutorial. It goes along with my master grade airbrush painting tutorials, and if you haven't already then please take a look at my playlist. You'll see I have an intro video to this explaining the sort of whole concept and what I plan to do with this beginner's series, and indeed you can also have a look at my master grade airbrush painting series at the same time. In these first few videos I'm going to talk about some pretty basic and perhaps boring things. Now please bear with me, I'm going to get progressively more in depth in terms of the whole airbrush setup, airbrush accessories, paints and compressors and all that kind of stuff. So if you're purely interested in the painting side of things, like I say, head over to my Master Grade Sinanju guide and you'll see more of this kind of thing here. I'm probably going to keep this intro for the first few parts, so if you're watching next time then please feel free to fast forward to this point. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is how I mix my own paints then. I'll get a standard model paint, whatever brand you want to use, but if you don't get one specifically made for airbrushes, then they're going to be way too thick for you to use to start with. So this is the other reason why I do this, because I absolutely hate mixing and thinning paint on the fly. So I've already thinned this down a little bit, but it's nowhere near thin enough to use in an airbrush, to give you an idea. So let's pour this out into a little pan, and normally I'd skip this step. I don't normally do this, but this is literally just to show you guys what kind of consistency we're after. So I'm just going to pour that in like so, and really that is much too thick already. So in this case, it's I can just get away with using a bit of water in this one. So I'm really just, like I say, I don't normally bother doing this, but I'm just doing this so you can see on camera. And that is a little bit more how it should be. And I know this gold paint looks a bit funny with the bubbling at the top and all that, but that's just the way this gold paint actually comes out of the bottle anyway. And the more you stir it, then the more you get that sheen at the top. So to give you an idea, if I just get some tissue paper, then this is actually how it looks when you let it settle. Oh, excuse me, not in camera. So as you can see there, the gold paint does actually do its job, even though it doesn't quite look it in this dish. So alright, excuse me, just the camera makes this tricky. So really it's just a case of pouring it in. And this is actually trickier than it looks. So again, like I said, I don't normally use this dish. This is just to show you on camera. And as you can see, the bottom's getting a little bit thicker than it needs to be. But I'll show you what I do with that in a bit, because it's still not quite done yet. But that gives you an idea of. Actually, if I hold it up, that gives you an idea on what the paint is actually like. So let's carry on with the rest. And that's a little bit too thick still, so but let's just pour it in. We'll deal with it, excuse me, not in camera shot, and we'll deal with it in a bit. So anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to fast forward now, and I'll meet you very shortly when I've got all this paint tidied up. Alright, so now I've got all the paint decanted into the dropper bottle, the custom dropper bottle. I've already thinned it out with the correct amount of water that I like, and really how it should be is like this. So as you can see, it's very runny now. I don't know if you can just see it well enough under the light that it kind of runs a lot, but it still sticks to the side. So what I do now is, well, now you see when you come to use it, not only is it more convenient because it's now in a dropper bottle instead of this, but you can also shake it up as much as you please without it going everywhere. And like I say, I know I used this dish just to show you guys some of the consistency of how the paint comes out and all that, but really I don't normally use that. And once you've been doing this for a while, you get a feel for how thin the paint should be already inside one of these. So just by shaking it, I can tell, you know, if it's a bit too thick or a bit too thin. You just get a feel for how it flows basically. And indeed you can see how it sort of sticks to the walls and then slowly drips back, pulls back together, and you know, all of that tells you how thick your paint needs to be. So that does take a little while to sort of work that out for yourself, but once you do, it makes airbrushing a lot easier. So there you go. That's my tip for how to make your own dropper bottles, you know, similar to Vallejo, except more or less double the size, so they last a lot longer. And now you can mix and match any paint you want, whatever shade you want, and keep them ready for use for next time. So oh, by the way, before I leave you guys, the kind of paints I tend to use are acrylics. So in all of these, I tend to use acrylic paint mixed down with, thinned down with Tamiya thinner or just standard isopropyl alcohol. However, there are a few additives that I normally use which preserves the life of these, but I will explain that in another video. So in the next video perhaps I'll go into things like the use of drying retarders, and I also have fluid, what's the word? It's like an agent that makes the paint more fluid, and I can't think of the word right now. And also things like adding gloss to it all to make your own transparent paints, but I'll get into all of that in another video, so I look forward to seeing you then. Once again, if you like this video, then please press like and subscribe, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, thank you very much.